Hey guys, I apologize about that delay. I want to I want to start off this week by before I send out links. I got some disturbing news. Michael Lee, who has been very active in the live chats when we would do these things, he was always commenting on the podcast when I used to podcast, and he always commented on my videos on YouTube. For the past couple years, he's been a really big part of this community. Well, I got some news that he passed away a couple days ago. I knew that Michael was battling cancer and he would go to the VA every so often, but here recently it came back and it was pretty bad, and he didn't make it very long. And I got the news that he passed away. He was retired, a retired HVAC guy, and he was a very intelligent HVAC guy. You could tell by the way that he talked and that, just by in the chat and stuff, that he wasn't an idiot. He was a veteran of our trade. I had gotten pretty close to Michael. Um, I'm even although we never met, I spoke to him on the phone a couple times. We would talk through Facebook Messenger quite a bit, and of course through the comment section, I would interact with him. Although I never met him in person, he was still a friend through the internet. And you hate to hear that anybody has passed away. So I want to give my condolences to his family. Do believe his wife knows about the YouTube stuff, and I'm sure she'll be checking out. But uh, I want to give my condolences to Michael Lee's family. It's it's sad, to even though I didn't know the guy personally, you know, I felt like I did, through the internet. So very sad to hear that Michael Lee is no longer with us. So Michael, I know you can see us, brother. Fly. I hope you're flying high up there. And I know you're not in pain anymore. So fly high and rest easy. Now I'm gonna send out links to the normal guys that usually come in here. Okay, the links have been sent. Okay, well, I'm Miss Brenda, Isaiah. If you want to come in here, you're more than welcome. The links have been sent out to all the usual guys. Hey, Curtis, how you doing, man? I haven't seen you in a while. Michael, how you doing, sir?
Pretty good, sir. How are you?
Oh, not too bad. I can't complain.
Just a little bit of upgrading to your microphone.
What up?
Hey, Isaiah.
How you doing, Mr. John?
All right.
What's up, Adam?
Is there?
Isaiah, I'm sure you heard about Michael.
Yes, sir. I was crushed.
Yeah. No, Michael, it's the same microphone, but the little filter that I usually have over this part, my son is He likes to chew things, so he decided to take it off and chew it up. So I've always had one of these. I don't really like them, but I had to use some kind of filter. So since he chewed this one up, I just broke this one out until I can get another one of these.
Right on.
Adam, how are we doing, sir?
Good. How about you?
All right. What's up, Chance?
What's going on, man?
How you doing, Mr. Ken?
Pretty good. Well, how's up with you guys?
Same old shit.
Yep. Man, it's not really thought about it right now because I'm just gonna start thinking right now something to say.
Well, I got some good news this week. I interviewed for HVAC position with my company, and they took me in. Pretty good raise, and so I'm looking forward to it. Be working on a lot of chillers and boilers and stuff. So,
Well, congratulations. That's a good thing.
yeah.
So you're done with the refrigeration side?
Well, I will be with that company, but I'm gonna continue to do it with my company.
Hey, just to let you know, man, I actually stopped off today. I didn't have it with me, so Monday morning I'm sending it out to you. All right?
Okay, that's great, buddy. I appreciate it.
Yeah, I got a new tool, Mr. Ken. Full inspection on mirror. I had to get me one from home. It was all busted up. Yeah, believe it or not. So how's everybody, John?
What's that?
How's everybody doing? I haven't heard from you.
Yeah, we're doing good, man. How about y'all?
Yeah, doing good. Dad's a little sick right now, believe it or not.
What's that?
They've been doing. I can't speak today. Dad ain't been feeling too hot lately.
Oh,
So okay. Attacks.
Hey, John.
Yeah.
Did everything work out for you Monday morning?
A little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll discuss that after we cut the feed off again.
Yeah, I tried texting you. I don't know if you got it. I was kind of curious.
I don't know if I did.
I did that your Google number or whatever you got. I don't know if you get text on that number or not.
Yeah, I do, but I don't see anything. I'll give you my personal number off the air.
Okay.
Hey, John, I ordered up that yellow jacket.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, just yesterday, yep.
Very good. Hey, Yellow Jacket, if you're watching, see, somebody just ordered it.
Yeah, I'm going to get a new manifold. My test has gone to shit, so I'm going to look into that. Where'd you buy yours from? Did you buy it from?
Wait, okay. See, I'm gonna send this video to Yellow Jacket. Chance, will you be buying the P51-870?
I'm definitely going to look into it.
All right.
I got mine.
Where'd you buy yours at?
I just got mine from. I try to give a bunch of my business to the local supply house, so we do,
Yeah.
Well, that's
I haven't seen it.
That's one product that you're not going to get on True Tech Tools. True Tech Tools does not have Yellow Jacket products, and I don't know what the hell. I know Bill Spohn and I know Eric. I don't know why they don't carry their products, but that's a screw up in my book.
It was between that and I've been looking at for like maybe 3 years now, the iManifold. And I've just I don't know.
Do they even support that anymore?
Dude, I don't know if you guys watched the video that I uploaded about the little tool demonstration I did for beginners.
Yeah.
Okay. I remember, hold on one second. Let me give a couple of the guys in the chat. Marco, thank you. Chevy 96. Yes, digital gauges do all those refrigerants. Robbie, how you doing? I know that that's just how I say yellow. Okay? I cannot help it. um, anyway, shit. Now I forgot what I was talking about. What was I talking
About
about?
the iManifold.
iManifold. Okay, I remember at one time on YouTube, there was a lot of guys making videos saying, if you don't have this thing, you're not doing your job right. You don't know
Everybody
what
was using them.
Yeah, you don't know what the hell you're doing. And ever since a certain individual, I'm not gonna say his name. I mean, I don't know if he would care or not, but y'all can ask me later. There's this guy that was y'all may even know who I'm talking about.
You're not talking about Jim Bergman, are you?
Maybe. Ever since a certain individual left iManifold, it died off. And it's because all these guys on here are friends with him. And, and this particular individual has now created an app that works with Testo and Fieldpiece.
Doesn't it also work with iManifold?
Yes.
It does. It does. Yeah. So the iManifold is, you don't hear about it no more.
I just wish that, I hope they keep Measure Quick, they keep expanding on that and maybe partner up with Sporlan and maybe Yellow Jacket and try to.
Well, here's the issue with Sporlan. They're not going to with Sporlan because Sporlan has already said they're not coming out with airflow probes for either product.
Yeah, but you can use the wireless. What is it? The Yellow Jacket, or not Yellow Jacket? The Testo probes with the iManifold. Correct.
Oh, okay.
So that's what I'm wondering. Would they be able? They probably let you use like Testos or something else with the Sporlan pressure probes.
I have no idea.
What I use the iManifold static pressure with my Measure Quick and Fieldpiece. Some of them are app to app, so you're not really getting true reading yet. It goes back and forth. But Jim tells me that they're working on it, and it's in a beta process now. If Measure Quick won't work with something, it's because they won't work with Measure Quick. The company won't work with Measure Quick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have not heard anything about Measure Quick partnering up with Sporlan, as far as I know.
I know they do back rack now for you gas guys.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, combustion analyzers. Yeah. Dalton, I didn't get a text from you, man. I don't believe. On a couple videos, when I put the phone number on the screen, I typed it wrong.
That's what I went off with.
Yeah, I might have typed it. I noticed I typed it wrong on a couple of my videos.
Yeah.
So I'll put the phone number in the chat for y'all right now.
Yep. Yeah, this is John. I had something pretty interesting. That low ream system I did.
Yeah.
The home, with a buddy of mine that I did it for his wife was saying noise coming from every time the unit shuts down. And I figured out what it was. What she's hearing is the refrigerant equalizing as it's going through the TXV. I don't even think Ream uses hard shut off thermal expansion valves at all. So I guarantee you that's what it is. That damn refrigerant equalizing in the valve. Yeah, but only I could see. That could be the noise that she's hearing. And I'm like, you gotta be fucking kidding me. Oh, I was not happy to hear that. It is what it is.
Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, hey, Chad, you ever had that problem?
What's that?
Where these customers complain, the customer complained if it noise comes from the new system you installed.
Oh, on a new system?
Yeah, and this Ream's only about a month old.
Yeah, I've had that. I've had that happen a few times.
I'm not to investigate into it to see.
I've had it where I've gone out there and they try to, and I can't hear what they're talking about. I'm like, You have to record it or something. I don't know what you're talking about right now.
What's up, Ted?
What, John? Mr. Ken,
Hey, John.
Chance, and Adam, and Ted.
Don't let him start rambling, please.
How you doing, Miss Brenda?
And Mr. Ted's in the chat.
Please don't let him start rambling.
Oh,
he's upset.
He's fine.
Okay, but explain to him, John. We all die.
Yeah, it happens, man. Unfortunately, it's a part of life.
And there's 10 commandments, and as long we're not evil people, so we're not evil. Only so we're going to heaven.
Yep.
Yep.
Start dying the day you're born.
Yep.
Yeah. But none of us are evil, so he's worried about that, John. Okay, so
Can I tell him about it, Mom?
Okay.
Can I tell him about it?
You can tell John. Is there a lot of people there?
It's just me, John, Chance, and Ken and Adam.
Okay, you can say that.
Hey, Mr. John and Chance,
Yeah.
I'm looking into is getting a little personal truck, a little Ford.
Oh yeah.
06 IF250, 6 liter, power stroke diesel, crew cab. Well, I'll tell you what, I'm impressed the way those Fords last.
The 6.0s?
Yes, and I'm afraid from what I'm hearing from a couple of Ford mechanics that they're switching from the original engine design on the Transits to a different one. Come to find out.
Okay, we're here to talk about air conditioning, so y'all teach me something. Come on, you have to learn from John.
Yep.
Look, Isaiah, that truck, how many miles does it have on it?
See?
I believe 144.
Thank you, John.
Has it been bulletproofed?
Yeah, you have to do that.
What the guy's saying, yeah, it's been bulletproof from what I've heard.
You'd be good then, yeah.
You said it's a 6.0?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, just be careful with the 6.0s, man. They had a lot of trouble with them.
What does that mean, bulletproof?
It's they basically on those trucks you got to pull the cab completely off.
Yeah,
raise it up in the air. They pull the heads, shave the heads, restud them, do the EGR delete.
Yeah, because they had a lot. Because they had a lot of issues with the 6.0.
Yeah, they'll blow a head gasket in a second.
Yeah. I mean, the best truck, a diesel that Ford, well, not Ford, that International made for Ford was the 7.3.
Yeah.
Well, that sucker ran fast.
I heard once you bulletproof them, though, I mean, they'll last 300,000 miles easily.
Oh well, you know, man, my dad had a 6.0 that he bought brand new in 06, and he kept it until it was 150,000 miles, I think, and then he got rid of it, and he never had not one issue with it.
I bet he maintained it.
Yeah,
he did. He took very good care of it.
Kid you not, guys. That truck, if you take that 6.0 and you bulletproof that engine, you get 500,000 miles out of it.
Yeah,
I mean, they're very good.
Because man, the one Dad had, some bitch had some power, man. I mean, it was good.
Yeah.
And they're really good engines, but it costs about $5,000 to do one if it's not bulletproof.
Right.
Yep.
And
I was impressed. I got to ride in one.
Now my opinion is I'm not a fan of the Duramax. I know the Duramax is made by Zuzu, but I like the Power Stroke, the 7.3 Power Stroke, and then the 5.9 Cummins.
Oh yeah.
That's my kind of man. Tell him I just called Miss Charlotte and she doesn't answer. And she's probably not staying home by herself.
Yep.
My wife, I just called her. But she did not answer.
What's that?
Is my mom called to check on Miss Charlotte. She did not answer her cell.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yep.
But that 5.9 Cummins that was in those Dodges was a good engine too.
The first gen was the best.
Yeah, you talking about the 12 valve?
Yep.
Yeah. Then they went to 24 valve.
Hey, Chris Keith, have you tried using the TechMate to run the variable speed motor to see if it would do the same thing?
Probably the module that's bad if it's doing that.
Usually, though, it's that what do they call that part that burns up on the module?
The capacitor. You're not talking about those capacitors in there, huh?
I don't know, not a capacitor. It's like the heat sink or whatever. I can't remember what it's called. It's
Oh
like a
yeah.
thermistor or something. But so they sell kits, which you could actually just buy the pieces straight up on like Amazon or whatever, and you could just solder these things in because those modules are like $500 or something.
Right. Oh yeah. Yeah.
But now, if you look at the new modules, they like fill them with like glue or something, so you can't even
The
get to the surface.
MOSFETs. The MOSFETs go bad in them.
Yeah. Alberto, how you doing? Excalibur. Yeah, David. I've seen your truck on the internet. I figured you had a 5. Well, I didn't know if it was a diesel or not, but I knew with that body style that if you did have a diesel, it would be a 5.9.
Yep,
Ted Cook said it's the little ceramic disc things that go bad in them.
Yeah, it's like little black. These little. I have a pack of them. I could run out to the truck and get them. I can't remember what they're called.
Right. Hey, Joel, what's up, man? Where you at?
I've had 2 pretty interesting calls back to back this week. Well, let's see. Thursday, I drove these people. I went to their house a couple months ago, and they're just all they have is an indoor air handler, heat strips, old mobile home. I mean, really old, early 80s. And they had no heat. So I got them going. It actually took me 2 trips because they didn't have the money to get the whole unit fixed the first trip. So I got them heat, and we got it working, good enough until they got some money to finish getting the unit up to par. But anyways, so the state bought their home because they're putting in a new highway, and they bought a new house. So they called me and they said, "Well, the new house we got, the heat doesn't work. Can you come and look at it?" And I'm like, "Well, sure. When I get off of work this evening, I'll give you a call. I'll come and meet you at your house, and we can run up there." Well, so I did. When I got to their house, they said, "Okay, just follow me." Guys, it was 36 miles away from their current house. Took me over an hour to get back home when I was finished. And all I did when I got there was turn the thermostat on. That's it.
Wow.
Wasn't nothing else wrong with it.
Nice.
They didn't wait for the delay where the power had been off. So it had no 24 volts. So you always get that delay on startup. And they didn't wait for it. They just kicked it on. They didn't feel any warm air. They turned it back off. I went, turned the thermostat on. But by the time I walked out around the house, got down to it, and I went to take the panel off the heat pump, damn heat pump kicked right on. So I got that. I charged them anyways. I mean, But then today, I had went to West Virginia to pick up my son yesterday, and I was on my way back home, and I get this call from this guy, and he has rental properties, and I had been there like a month ago to fix the heat there, and I'd put in a new thermostat. So thermostats I got, they don't come with batteries. Well, I just happened to be out of batteries, so the customer gave me a battery to put in his own thermostat. And the guy that owns the house, he called me and he said, "There's something wrong there at that unit." They said thermostat's blank and all this stuff. I said, "Well, did they put a battery in it?" Well, he said he was going to put a battery in it, but I don't know. So I went, knocked on the door, come in, God put a battery in it. There wasn't nothing wrong. Yet again, no problem. Charged the guy for the call and went on about my business. So, I mean, it's been pretty easy for me, I guess, this week.
I'm glad it was easy for somebody. Yesterday, I've changed 2 blower motors, 2 cold controls, and a window unit. 2 blower motors, and 2 condenser motors.
Oh Lord.
So I
You know
took
what I
this.
worked on a couple days ago? A big house in Chicago, real big house. They have a huge, massive, like 600,000 BTU steam boiler, and then they have a furnace in their kitchen. On top of the boiler, they have a heat pump for air conditioning on the for the second and first floor, and then another heat pump and for air conditioning on the third floor. But we put the air handler in. It was one of those the communicating TAMs, and she called somebody else for whatever reason. She said the guy was out there for a long time, and he said it was a bad circuit board on the air handler. I went out there, was tripping the fuse. It took me a while to find it because it's a 18 SEER train. What is it? A TWE heat pump? Is that the right model number for it?
Yeah. Well, for the heat pump itself.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah. If it's 410A, it'd be like a 4TW something.
yeah. That's what it was, and it turned out it was tripping. I was tripping what I isolated down to was Y1, and it was tripping off on the hot gas discharge sensor. Something was shorted in it. I just bypassed it. I said I'll have to come back in a week or two and I'll pop a new one on for you. But that was a tough one. Those things are full of wires.
Yeah. What SEER? What SEER
18
was
SEER, two stage.
Okay, so it'd be like a 4 TWX maybe, because that's
TW. I think TWV. I think Ted. I think you're right.
Yeah, but the V is for variable speed.
It wasn't variable. No, it was a two-stage.
Yeah, so I think
it was older. It's probably 10 years old.
Anytime you have a train heat pump, it's going to have that W in the model number because of the Weathertron. Okay. That's what it stands for. That's from the GE days, the Weathertron.
You know the factory in Tyler, Texas is actually that was the old GE factory before it was taken over.
Everything about Train is GE.
And before that factory was GE HVAC, it was actually GE refrigerator factory.
What's up, Steve? But a lot of people don't realize that everything about Train is GE. The spine fin coil, the Climate-Tough compressor, that was all made by GE. That's GE's work.
I miss the what I call the old compressors. I call them the bowling balls. Those things they rattle around, carry them on the hand truck. I miss those suckers. I love those. The old recip.
Yeah.
Oh, there's Joel. What's up, man?
What's up, fellas?
Yeah, Ted. I mean, because I remember. I mean, I've seen some old green Train machines that have a copper tube, coil, and it was a piece of shit. But yeah, I mean, Train was nothing until they bought GE. You know, I've heard so many names for that orange compressor. The pumpkin, the pot, and you know, some people call it snowball because I think that's what Train calls it because it runs with ice on it. What did you call it, Adam?
I call it the bowling ball. The biggest was a big wrap.
Yeah. I never heard that one. I've heard pumpkin, snowball, the pot, the old pot compressor, Climate-Tough, because that's what it's called. That's the real name, I believe, is Climate-Tough. So
sometimes I gotta tell you, in those old compressors, those Rotolock fittings, sometimes they're nice and they're just like boom. You can change the compressor, no problem. And there's other times you're like MFing the thing, you know?
Yeah. Ted said Snowball was one at the factory. It ran for 38 years for 38 years solid with flooding back liquid refrigerant.
And Ted, I'm sure Ted knows this, that compressor was actually a warranty compressor. A company set that back and said it was a dead compressor. they have a autopsy room. They cut that compressor open and said there's nothing wrong with this.
Yeah.
They welded it back together, and that's when they started running that as snowball.
It's a shame that Train doesn't use that compressor anymore.
They were the only company who made their own compressor, and that like broke
Right.
my heart when I started seeing these new compressors.
That's right.
You know?
Now they use an Alliance scroll, which is nothing but a Copeland. It's built in the same factory. I think like 80-something% of the compressor is Copeland, and the other 20% or whatever is Alliance.
I think a couple, I don't know, what was it, 7-8 years ago, they started off with their what was their cheap model, the XB models, I
Yep.
think it was. They started using LG compressors, and that ended
Yeah.
very quickly.
Yeah, well, they're still using LGs and like they don't make the B model anymore, but they still make the R model 14 SEER.
And that's LG.
Sometimes, I mean, not all the time, but anything above that 14 SEER, you're going to get an Alliance. Ted, what compressor is in the variable speed condenser? Isn't it a Dan Foss? I believe it's a Dan Foss in Train in American Standard. That's what I thought. I thought it was Dan Foss.
Yep.
And is it a rotary or is it a scroll? Pretty sure it's a rotary, but I'm not sure.
Michael, congrats on getting that HVAC job in that company, man.
Thank you, buddy.
No, Brad, actually, LGs are not bad, dude. ICP was using them because, Ted says it's a rotary. So, ICP, when I was doing ICP, Copeland couldn't keep up with the demand at the factory because there's so many brands with Carrier. You know, you got Carrier, Bryant, Payne, and all the ICP brands. So I never knew what we were going to get, but I see these guys, you know, on here dogging LG, but I've had no issues with them.
Speaking of which, on that topic, Mr. John and Joe Chance, I had a good friend of mine had I think it's a 5-year-old Payne system that had that particular compressor, and they had 4 that got yet another contract there. That sure enough, he called me about 2 weeks later. He's not cooling. About a week later, called back for hey, it's not cooling again. Went out there, found the compressor dead. 5 years old, the compressor had died. That's what you get when you got jack legs working for you. That was something. They were just trying to get their thing running. The compressor like that just had enough and just quit. It died right in front of me.
Yeah. Brad, I don't know what's going on with yours, man, but I've had no issues.
Yeah, there hasn't been any issues with LGs really.
No, I haven't had one fail, and I've put in a lot of ICP equipment with LGs, and I've had no issues.
I know when I worked at Carrier Enterprise, I don't remember seeing a warranty LG compressor. I mean, I'm sure there was, I just don't remember ever seeing one.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't have any issues.
You guys know what? I've had one compressor since I went in business for myself that I replaced under warranty, and it was an Ameristar unit. What compressors are in the Ameristar units? I don't recall.
No clue. I've never done one. I've never installed one. Never worked on one.
Are those inverters?
No.
Ameristars. It's like you need to put your
Star?
yard waste sticker on the side of that thing. It's a piece of garbage.
Oh.
It's like a Chinese thing that Train sells as their lower model.
Yeah.
What the hell's the inverter series?
For who?
It's not Temp Star.
What?
No, comfort maker uses the Toshiba compressor on their inverter systems.
All ICP and Carrier does. Carrier, Bryant, all the ICP brands use Toshiba.
That's good. Matter of fact, that's the first LG I've lost in a while. It's been a long time. since I've lost an LG compressor. That's my dad. Got out of it.
Joel, what are you trying to think of?
Those inverters. I don't know, man.
What inverter?
I could have sworn it was like Temp Star or Comfort Maker or something.
That's all ICP brands.
I mean, every brand makes an inverter now.
Yeah, every brand makes an inverter.
Hey, Chris Keith.
All right,
Maybe not Goodman, but
Ted. Amana.
What?
You know, makes
that makes no sense, Ted. What he just said.
No offense, Adam. My bad, dude.
No problem. I was just going to ask him, Chris Keith, a question. He was saying there's a problem with the TCON 200 and the XB furnaces. I'm wondering, with the blower shutting off without a delay, I'm wondering how that is even possible, just because I know the circuit board, the thermostat doesn't control the blower off delay. The circuit board controls the blower off delay.
And Ted says he'd rather have an ICP than a true carrier.
But
Ted, you do realize that there's no difference, right? There's absolutely no difference between carrier.
The only thing they do on the outdoor unit is they change the color and the shape of it.
The outdoor units look a little different, like American Standard and Train, but as far as the cabinet, the components, the air handlers, the furnaces, the coils, there's absolutely no difference at all. None.
And Ted, I'm going to make a video about Amana. I know you laugh about it. My family has been dealing with Train since 1972. It's in my blood, man. Like I can't even tell you. Like I grew up. Train used to install their own equipment. It was called the Train Comfort Corps. My dad worked for them. It was Train installing their own equipment. He installed Train for Train. I have pictures of me at their warehouse. But I know you laugh at Amana. You got to see some of the new Amana stuff. It's not bad. Not bad.
That's what you're installing now, right?
I still do a little bit of Train, but I do Amana. They're real good to their dealers, and they're equipped. They have the best warranties by far.
Do they have an inverter yet?
Oh yeah, they do. It's got a Daikin compressor in it because Daikin owns Goodman now.
Yeah, I didn't know. I thought they were just still doing like the 18 SEER 2-stage.
Oh no, they've got a 20 SEER inverter. And it's got a Daikin compressor. Because Daikin owns them now. See, now you can only get an inverter in Daikin and Amana brand. The Goodman, you cannot buy a Goodman badged condenser with an inverter.
The same thing with if you do like a high efficiency furnace, you can't get a Goodman with a stainless steel heat exchanger. It's got to be a Daikin.
Yeah, because Amana has that patent. Because back when Amana was Amana, they patent the stainless steel heat exchanger.
But the Amana, the 95s, the 95 furnaces and the 16 SEERs and up. For the 16 SEERs, if the compressor goes bad, you have a lifetime unit replacement warranty. No compressor change out. They'll give you a whole new unit. And the same thing with the heat exchanger. The heat exchanger goes bad, you get a whole new furnace.
Right. Same thing with their compressors. Yeah, but Ted, that's the only difference, man, is a little bit is cosmetics on the condenser. As far as the air handlers and the furnaces and the coils, there's really no cosmetic differences. And it's good equipment. I don't care what anybody says. I've installed so much ICP and have had no issues with it.
Yeah, I think Carrier makes by far the best product out there. If I had a good distributor by me, that's what I'd be selling.
Look, man, for the best bang for your buck, like you can't beat an ICP brand because you get a good price on it and it's damn good equipment. And it's got the only warranty out there that's better than ICP is Goodman and Amana because they have the lifetime compressor. But and then again, if you think about it, ICP's is a little better because they're high-end condensers.
Lifetime.
No,
it's 10-year unit.
It's a 10-year hassle. Not only for the compressor, but if the condenser coil springs a leak, You get a whole new unit.
Yep.
Damn.
The only thing I don't like about ICP, I don't know if it's just by me, but the distributor by me that sells pretty much every ICP brand, their equipment is cheap. You can get them very affordably, but their parts are out of this world. They're crazy how expensive like the carrier parts and that is. You
They
know?
got expensive like TXVs and stuff for whatever reason.
I never had that issue, but I was the ICP dealer program where I lived was called high volume dealer, and I was a high volume dealer, so I don't know if they gave me better pricing or what. But I never had an issue with expensive parts.
Some of their inducers get pretty pricey though.
Yeah.
Yeah, because the inducers are a little funky the way they're made. They're weird.
And you know what? Even their 80%, those small inducers, the newer ones where you have to replace the wheel and all that.
Right.
Those are kind of expensive, and those things always go bad. I'm questioning why they keep making those for so long. You know, like why don't they change the design? They always go bad.
Yeah, they sell a ton of those inducer motors.
Here we go.
Good thing about the carrier ICP units too, you know, they're small. They're not, you know, when I install these American Standards, I can't drive my van to pick up half of them. I got to take a truck because they don't fit my damn van.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really care what anybody says. I mean, for the best bang for your buck, in my opinion, is ICP. I mean,
yeah, they're a good brand.
I've had it doesn't matter what brand. People are like, oh, only if you get Heil or this. Dude, it's a sticker. I mean, it doesn't make a shit about the sticker. You know how many times I'd go to my Comfort Maker store and they'd say, I don't have that condenser in stock. But let me call the ArcoAir store, see if they got one. And they would just call them and change the badges for me. You know, it doesn't matter. So,
see, around here, you can only have pricing with one ICP distributor, though. Equipment, that is.
Yeah, same way here. Once you're tied up with one ICP deal, because now if you have a piece of equipment that your supplier doesn't have, the suppliers would call each other and trade equipment for you. You know, and they help each other out. Because I had a job coming up where they told me they had the condenser in stock, and I went that morning to pick up the equipment, and they didn't have it. Their computer said they did, but they didn't go put their eyes on it. And it turned out they didn't have it. So they had the ArcoAir store bring it to my supplier, which I bought Comfort Maker. And they just, you know, I don't know how they do it, whether they buy it or they trade. I really don't give a shit. They just brought it to me. So, but yeah, he pulled his ArcoAir badge off and took it back to the store with him to, you know, I think what they were going to do is my store was going to order that condenser and give it to him. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
I used to do quite a bit of ArcoAir. We sold, we were doing a lot of like foreclosure work, and we got those, man, we got them for cheap. Those furnaces, the 80% furnaces, 13 years.
Yeah. Yep. It's good stuff.
That Josh guy in the chat, he's very confident in all of his statements, isn't he?
Yeah, he is.
Is he the guy that was last week saying no one does this in Denver, no one does that in Denver, and the next guy said, I'm in Denver and we use that.
Yeah.
You know, Ted, one thing about the coil leaks, I was selling exclusively Train when all these companies started using the thin Chinese copper or whatever for their A coils, and there was like an epidemic in coil leaks, and I had no clue it even existed because Train was already at aluminum coils, and then you start running into carrier coils and that with their leaks and that, and man, it's like it was crazy because I think Train was one of the first ones to switch over to aluminum A coils.
Oh yeah, Train's been aluminum for a long time. Yeah, Ted's right though. ICP had a really, really bad coil leak problem when they were copper with the 410A. So did Goodman. So did Lennox. So did Ream.
The York, the worst was York. York was the worst.
Yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah.
Number one.
Yeah.
Yorks were leaking when it was R22.
Yeah.
Those damn blue coils. But yeah, ICP had it bad. Goodman, shit, Lennox and Rudin Ream too. Rudin Ream was real bad.
Everybody did that. Used copper coils.
I changed out a shit ton of Rudin Reams when with the 410A issue.
The thing is, you look at the copper coils now, or 10 years ago or whatever. You lift them up and they're light, and you pull out a coil from like 30, 40 years ago, and man, it's gonna break your back when you're pulling out because that's like some solid top tubing,
Oh, yeah. Ted, you're right. York was good stuff until JC got a hold of them. The only issue I have with that I had with York before JCI got him was the blue coils that me and Adam talked about a couple weeks ago.
I used to have a video. I had a video on my channel. I just actually took it off public recently. But it was us. We pulled a York modulating furnace out of a house that we installed because we probably had 15 service calls of all warranty parts there. And they had defective parts like their drain pans on their 95 furnaces, and they'd replace them with other defective drain pans. And they'd keep doing that to us. And eventually we just pulled the furnace out. And I made a video. It was like, I don't know. It was right when those 33 modulated furnaces came out. We smashed the furnace, but I just pulled it off. It was funny.
Yeah, I hear you, Ted. But with the York, yeah, York.
York. Isn't that what your dad sells, John?
We used to until we started having too much trouble. No, but we shut that shit down. That's why I have a rep, for changing brands because after the York thing, we didn't, I know it sounds corny, but we were heartbroken. We had been selling it for so long, we didn't know where to go. And so we were trying to find what we liked. And we did ICP first and we really liked it. And then we backed off of it and we tried Train and, we did a few Ream and Rudes and we did a bunch of equipment and then ended up settling back on ICP.
Yeah.
Brad, what do you mean Ream redid their units? I mean, yeah, they redesigned
the shape of them.
They redesigned their condensers. What? How long has it been since the new platform's been out? At least 5 or 6 years, huh?
From those square bodies with the cabinets on top.
Yeah. You know, the new design.
Yeah.
I really like working on those triangle or whatever they're called, the Lennox units. Those panels are easy to take off.
Yeah, 2 screws.
Yeah.
Do any of you guys do geothermal?
Nope.
I got certified in it, thinking we were going to do it, but I just don't have customers with enough money.
I ain't never seen a Geo in person.
Yeah, Sylvester Cochran, when they were going to hire me and they wanted to send me to school for geothermal. Evidently, it must be a big thing starting up in North Carolina.
Ted
said open loop only.
Yeah, Ted does them, but he said open loop only.
Isn't open loop, Ted, where there's isn't that where there's like a pond or something? Open loop.
See, now y'all are this is not even HVAC.
We don't do anything but closed loop systems up here. I mean, that's like, I don't know. They always tell us never do open loop systems.
Robert, I haven't spoken to him about the Bosch in a while. I mean, we've talked, but not about that. But last time he brought it up, he was still impressed with it. I'm gonna wait and ask him about it once it gets hot. It still hadn't got hot here yet. See, now y'all are speaking gibberish to me. To me, this is not even HVAC anymore because I don't know shit about geos.
Well, hell, we were talking about diesel engines a while ago, so
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
I
I
don't give a
remember,
damn. I'd sweat them all in with Stay Bright 8. I don't give a shit.
They got a guy on Facebook. I would love for him to come in here, but he won't do it. He's a young kid, and he thinks he knows everything about everything. His name is Ed, and oh man, if that's some bitch, I wish I had $1 for every time that he mentioned Stay Bright 8.
It's the shit, man. It's the shit.
Steve the plumber says open loop systems are not allowed in Canada.
no Stay Bright 8 and geothermal. You're using, what is it called, Ted? Socket fusion welding and butt fusion welding? Isn't that what you do with the plastic pipes?
Oh yeah, the
Yeah,
butt
you fusion
fusion.
them.
I have my certification in that.
Isn't that the one that you put them in there and they turn and they get so hot they fuse together?
Yes.
It's there's like a gun. There's like an iron or something for
Yeah.
the plastic loops.
Is it the same that you use for underground gas?
What's that?
Is it the kind of same fusion that they
No.
use for underground gas?
Oh, maybe. Yeah, I think it's the same. It's not the same pipe, but yeah, I think it's the same idea. Yeah.
Okay, cool. What's up, guys? By the way, from Canada.
Hey,
How
buddy.
you doing?
What's up, man?
What's up, guys?
But just get some Flex Seal and spray on it. It'll be all right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I bet it'll work. That shit's no joke, man.
I'd like to spray a coil with that stuff and see if it works.
Yeah.
You ever see that? Did any of you guys ever use that stuff? I've seen it at the show. I've never used it, but it's if like they put like a coating on the coil, like a bronze or something like a gold coating, for like a coil that's prone to leak. You could send it out or whatever.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Well, I know all the pool system units, Dectron, and all that. They're all coated with black paint.
That chlorine tears that stuff apart, though, right?
You know what? It hangs on. I haven't seen any, except when they change the style of the fins. A couple of them screwed up, but usually it stays on pretty good.
Bronze glow, that's it.
Mr. Ice, I don't. Guy in the chat asked if we've seen any coatings for salt water.
I think that bronze glow would be good for that. That's like supposed to prevent all kinds of leaks and issues with, because I think there's a lot of like environmental issues where if a coil's, if there's weird air, chemicals running through the air, you could have problems with leaks in the coil, and that bronze glow is supposed to prevent that.
Here we go. We got a question on here for you, John, about the drop in.
Okay. Yes, I have, Hugo. I like it. I like it a lot.
Is there another name for that, John?
Man, I don't know. Hold on, let me look because it's gonna bug me now. It's a refrigerant. I can't remember what it's called. R453A maybe or B.
Hey, if anyone wants to buy some 500 pounds of reclaimed R22 on Zololo, let me know.
Yeah, okay. RS44B is R453A. It's made by Comstar. They're the only company that makes it, and it is a good refrigerant. I've used it.
So now that R22 is coming down in price, do you think companies are going to be lowering their price this summer, or you think they're going to stick high or even go higher?
I'm keeping mine the same price as last year.
Are you going to raise it, or are you keeping it exactly the same?
I'm keeping it the same. I'm buying my jugs for $150 less now than I was last year, but I just bought a jug. I guess it was Thursday for $400.
It's a good price.
I wonder why it's taking a dive.
People don't want to get stuck with it, I guess. I don't know.
I don't think distributors are allowed to sell it, period, after January 1st next year.
Correct.
No, they're not.
That's why they don't want to get stuck with it. So I think they're, just trying to get rid of it.
I mean, if it comes down, hey, if it comes down some for $100 a jug, I'll buy a shitload of those things at the end of the year.
Yeah. The problem is, a lot of the guys, like the real big guys, they don't even do R22. At least around here, they're not even doing R22. It's replace it with the new system is what they're doing.
Yeah, I was told with this new position that I'm getting that they still use R22 in all those big machines. So.
Oh wait, no. Yeah, and I think Ted's right. Ted said the supply houses can sell it. It just can't be manufactured anymore.
That's true. Because you can still buy R12.
Right. Yeah, they can. The supply houses can sell it if they got it. They just can't get no more.
That's good to know.
Holy shit. Dave, if y'all look, David in the chat, I know him. He's in Lafayette, Louisiana. He said there's which supplier, David? He said there's a supplier there selling it for $2.90 a jug.
Nice.
Hell, that'd be worth the drive to Lafayette.
How many jugs you got left, Ted? About. Oh. Okay.
How far is Lafayette from Mandeville?
Mandeville's up north, I believe.
It's by Pontchartrain, like
Oh yeah, no, that's a good ways away.
Is it?
Yeah.
Well, if anybody wants some good pricing, if you want to buy a pallet at a time, company called Ability Refrigerants. You got to buy it online, and they'll send it to you for $2.95 a jug, free shipping.
Damn.
Wait, what is it? Say that again. Can you type that in the chat?
Yeah. It's $2.95 a jug. Ability Refrigerants. They sent me an email.
Ability?
Yeah, March 14th. They sent me an email, and then the 410 they're selling for $69 a jug, and these are pallet pricing.
Adam, David said it's about 2.5 hour drive from Mandeville.
I was gonna say, man, my brother lives down there. I should have him go run and pick up a bunch of jugs for me, and I can make a road trip down there.
Mike Malone, that just depends on if somebody's watching you or not.
That's why I said, hey, you want to buy my 500 pounds of the Lolo?
I've actually got a recycled tank out there that's full that I'm keeping for my own personal use when shit starts going wrong. I mean, my mother-in-law, her unit's R22. I mean, hell, it was free. Why not?
Yeah.
I don't know what R22 goes, for by you guys, but Chicago, man, it's crazy how much people charge for it per pound.
I do $125 a pound.
Last year, I'll tell you what I was at. I was $150 a pound, and some companies were like $250 a pound.
Oh shit!
I do $95 a pound.
guys run into other like customers? You go into their house and they're like, "Yeah, another company was out here and they told me that we need 7 pounds of refrigerant." And you're like, "How do they know we need 7 pounds of refrigerant?" I see that crap all the time.
Yeah.
Well, 7 pounds at $150 or $250. That's pretty good day's pay right there.
Yeah.
Seeing that you're only coming off a pound, maybe.
I charged up one guy's system last year. He had 2 systems. Told him it's gonna be about $1,000. He goes, okay. I was like, whatever, man. It's just it's all. I guarantee you, this is gonna leak out. He's, I don't care. It'll get me through, a couple months. And that's all I care about.
I had a couple of those last summer too.
You wouldn't mind throwing that customer my way, would you?
Some people just don't care, man.
No, some people got the money.
This guy had the money, and his wife, she wasn't going to stand for no 78-degree house.
Yeah.
One of them little princesses.
Yep.
I posted a video today. I was at a guy's house. This guy, I felt bad for him. He was almost 90 years old. His house was in foreclosure, and his boiler, it's 50 years old, and he's like, "Please just help me." I felt bad for the guy. I just kind of rigged it up to get it going.
Yeah,
what was wrong with it?
So like the pump, it was a pump relay control.
I'll be right back, fellas. Y'all just keep going.
All right.
The pump relay control, so the thermostat would close the TT terminal and it would energize the pump, but it would not close the XX terminal on the pump relay. So instead of changing the whole pump relay, what I did was just did a regular relay and kind of rewired it and rigged it up because he was like, he has an offer. The dude's got 1 foot in the grave and 1 foot out of the house. So I don't know.
A circ pump or
what's that?
Is it an oil fired boiler?
No, gas.
Okay, I'm not too familiar with gas. I'm more familiar with oil fired equipment, but I'm interested in it.
I wish I knew oil. All I've done is ripped out oil. I've never worked on it.
What's the standard service for a gas boiler?
What do you mean service?
Like yearly, like do gas boilers get yearly serviced?
Like maintenance.
There's not like a requirement. I mean, they could. Some of your older pumps need oil in that, but like boilers last forever. They last 30 years. But this one's 50 years old.
Wow.
It's on its last legs.
It's like a standard, like we do like a yearly cleaning. It's we pull off the access covers, we brush it with the vacuum, we change nozzle, filter, strainer. So
no, you don't. It's nothing like that. Worst case scenario with an old boiler is you'll get a heat exchanger or something that gets sooted up. That's the worst. And like honestly, I've done a couple like heat exchanger clean jobs where you're trying to clean the soot, and never again. I'm done. Like you change the boiler if you're. That's a.
Gotcha.
You got them long rods you shove down through there like saws?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, you see what that Josh guy said to Ted? What did he say? He said that's not how EPA certified tech should act. How Ted gives away R22. He puts an R22 in a leaky system. There ain't nothing wrong with that. I do it all the time.
It gives you a chance to get rid of some of that reclaim stuff. So
I don't do that, but that'd be too many jugs to carry on my truck.
Yeah, those reclaim tanks are heavy.
Well, see here where I am, when I change, if I got one that's leaking pretty regular, I'll draw that out, put it in a reclaim tank, and go replace the unit. But seeing that it's an apartment complexes that I work for, I can use it as long as I reuse it on that same property.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that. As long whoever the owner of it is, they own it. You can put it on any system they have.
Right. I have a thing with my boss every spring, getting just before heating or cooling season really picks up. She agrees to buy the parts as long as they're under $100, and I'll do the labor. I'll give them my labor for free. And there's a thing here called CASA, which they do things for old people or people without money. And I'll donate a weekend, and she'll buy the parts, and I'll fix their window units. Otherwise, they'd be smoldering all summer. They have no money.
You guys want to know a crazy Chicago code?
What's up?
There is it used to be on residential systems too in Chicago, but now it's only on systems that are 30 pounds of refrigerant and over. But they used to require, I don't know if it's anywhere else for any of you guys, but they used to require a relief valve in the unit, on the outdoor unit. And what would happen is, like, so if like there's a fire or anything, the relief valve would let out the refrigerant before it would, melt or any of the copper or burst any of the joints or whatever. But what I found was, I don't know if any of you guys live in, I know a lot of you don't live in cold climates, but in real cold climates, all the refrigerant migrates out to the compressor in the wintertime. So all the pressure is out at the compressor. So you start opening up the relief valve and you start leaking out the refrigerant every winter.
And that's a code to do that?
That was a code on residential. Now it's 30. Now if it's anything 30 pounds of refrigerant, a system that's 30 pounds or more, you have to have a relief valve on any system.
And you have to dump that into the air.
You gotta dump it in the air. The Chicago code.
And they get pissed if you got a leak.
Yeah.
That's our government. There you go.
Curiosity. Do you know what PSI goes off at?
I don't, honestly.
Finger pressure.
That's like the last thing I care about is the relief valve, because I think it's like a pointless thing that you just have to add on. But
Yeah.
I have not had to add it on residential. I've only had to work on it and add it on commercial. I've had to fix and remove the stuff off of residential to stop the leaks, but I haven't had to do it from the get-go,
I think on some units, correct me if I'm wrong, like the receiver on like light commercial units will have a built-in relief valve on it, won't it?
I don't know. Oh, it has that little what is it called?
That little disc.
The disc that will melt.
Yeah, okay.
It's like a heat sink thing.
Yeah.
Let me go back to that Chicago code where you got to. So when the winter time comes, you have to let the Freon out of the system.
No, you don't have to let the Freon out of the system. I'm saying what happens is all the refrigerant. What was happening, what I found was I had several buildings I was servicing, and come spring, they were all low on refrigerant. And you go check for leaks, and you don't have leaks anywhere. What was happening was all the refrigerant was migrating because it's cold out to the compressor, and then it was tripping the relief valve because the relief valve was out of the compressor, and then you'd lose refrigerant. So come spring, summer, you'd be low on charge.
Yeah.
Well, that's pretty strange because you dump it out and then you got to go back and put it in.
It's pointless. Chicago's I just got flagged. That's why, honestly, I was like running myself ragged this week because the stupid inspector. We had a job, third floor attic. We did ductwork around the perimeter in a knee wall. All the rafters were spray foamed all the way down, and we didn't insulate the trunk line around the perimeter in the knee wall. And he said, you need to insulate it, even though we're inside the building envelope.
Oh, that's weird.
Ridiculous.
Yeah.
They're like, they overdo everything,
Here the same way, buddy.
That Josh Mason in there he was talking about, you can't.
He's making up rules.
Yeah, well, I just read the regulations on that, and I was pretty for sure I knew what I was going to talk about, but I wanted to check myself. That's for a system. You can't keep gassing and going on a system that holds more than 50 pounds of Freon
Correct.
If it's under that, you can gas it as many damn times as you want to, and just get back in your van and go to fuck home.
Yeah.
Okay.
So Joe, Josh, keep in mind, dude, we don't work at a hospital. We don't work, most of us don't work at a hospital. Most of us are residential based, and we're not dealing with systems with over 50 pounds. So, like Michael said, it's completely fine for us to gas up an R22 system if that's what a customer wants.
Yeah. I mean, and right here, look, I'm gonna copy the link and post it right here in the chat if it'll let me.
Do you know how to share your screen?
Right there's the link in the chat. You can go to that website and it gives you what the rules are.
Ted, you crack me up. You are a cowboy, man.
My issue, John, sharing my screen is I have 3 of them. So,
I got you.
We were talking about code a minute ago. It's not HVAC related, but it's electrical. I put 24 inside panels up with 24 sockets in each one. So the inspector comes out in October, and he's not passing any of my stuff because I didn't torque any of the circuit breakers. He said, well, the code says you have to torque those to the specs. I said, I understand that, and I will torque them January 1st when the code goes into effect. But right now, I don't need to. He said, well, I'm telling you do. So he failed everything. So I called down the inspection department, and I said, I want to talk to the lead inspector. I want to have a challenge. So they give me an appointment. I go down there, and this inspector comes in there that turned me down, and he goes to explain the whole deal. It's not torqued or anything else. And I opened the code book, and I said, well, it doesn't go into effect till January 1st. So his boss says, you're okay. Go ahead. Don't worry about it. You stay here. I need to talk to you to his inspector. But the bad thing about that is now when that inspector comes out here, he busts my balls.
Of course.
Absolutely.
Robbie, we're not ruthless, man. It's just, this guy's saying stuff that's,
Josh is something else, man.
Yeah, he's just not accurate.
Every week he talks for all Denver when he's in the chats.
Yeah, I mean, like Chance said, every
Colorado, week, whatever.
Joel's not in here anymore. I see he dropped out, but Joel, he called out Joel about his rebel flag, and now
that was him.
Yeah, yeah, and now this kind of stuff. I mean, he works at a hospital, and he deals with systems that have more than 50 pounds of gas.
Right.
All of us here on the screen are all pretty much residential.
Hey, when I worked at the hospital, the train guy would come in. I wasn't in the HVAC department there. I was mechanical and electrical director. But the train guy would come in with 8, 9, 10, 50-gallon containers of Freon when he was working on them chillers. That's a lot of Freon, buddy.
Yeah. Robbie, no, look, dude, his name is Ted. Me and Ted used to not like, I didn't like Ted. I don't know how Ted felt about me, but and I used to think the same thing, but Ted just likes, he's really not being a dick.
No, Josh is being an idiot.
Yeah, I thought Ted was being a dick, like back when I used to give him hell. I really did, until I figured out that he wasn't, and then we actually talked on the phone. So now I wish all that wouldn't have happened, because I really do like Ted. Ted's a good guy.
I've been watching Ted for a while, and I gotta say, if you have something you're disagreeing with Ted, you better know what you're talking about, because Ted knows shit.
Absolutely.
Ted knows shit.
Ted seems to know his stuff, man.
Ted does. Ted knows his shit, and I never said he didn't. Me and Ted I would fuck with Ted because I thought he was being a dick, but he really wasn't. And I wish I would have not been so hot headed. I've learned over the years not to try to be less hot headed. But I really like Ted. And yes, Ted does know his shit. He really
Are we
does.
talking?
Yeah, he's pretty good.
Are we talking about Ted Cook?
That's
Yeah.
correct.
Yeah.
Yeah, you best have your shit straight.
Yeah, Ted knows what he's doing. He really does.
He's got his stuff. I just started watching him in about a month now, and he tells it how it is.
Yeah, he does. He's not afraid to tell you. But
that's because he knows what he's talking about.
But he does. He does know what he's talking about. Absolutely.
And it sounds like Josh knows what he's talking about when it comes to heavy equipment. You know, big commercial shit that's over 50 pounds.
He probably does.
Yeah.
But
kudos to you, Josh, for knowing your units and stuff. But you don't know ours.
But as far as us, telling us that we can't gas up an R22 system on a residential application is just complete bullshit.
Well, everything he says, he references, well, here in Denver.
Yeah,
this is how we do it in Denver. This is what we do in Denver. I'm like,
well, brother, I ain't nowhere near Denver. I'm down here at the bottom of Louisiana, far away.
You would think he was in another country or something like California.
Yeah.
Hey, Ted, is this the real Justin Hernandez or the fake Justin Hernandez?
No, that's the fake one because see how it says Justin with an E and it says Hernandez? That's the fake one.
That pisses a lot of people off, huh? That guy?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Mr. Ice, I think it's because Denver has that legal Mary Jane.
Yeah.
Yeah, it could be.
Everything probably looks a little hazy.
Yeah.
Guys, I'm really excited about starting to work on some of these chillers. The only thing that I'm kind of worried about is that freaking fracture valve. You know what I mean? I mean, when I was going to school, my instructor, he talked some shit about those, about rupturing a few of those things. So
I don't know shit. I don't know what the hell you're talking
about. I have no idea.
Well, you know, those things have like several 100 pounds of Freon in them.
Yeah. Right.
And they work on almost a vacuum. But they have this little fracture disc, and if you fuck up and you fracture that disc, your ass is in some big trouble.
Speaking of that, you know, what are those guys going to do with those systems when they're low on 50 pounds of Freon or something? And
they just dump 50 pounds into them.
Well, I'm talking about R22 though. I mean, eventually,
you have a leak rate, okay, and what it is, it goes by a percentage of. On a yearly percentage, and it just changed in January of this year. But so your leak rate, say you have a system and it's got 500 pounds of R22 in it. Well, if that system for commercial, let's see here, industrial process, it's 30%. You're allowed to lose up to 30% without having to file a plan on it. If it's under 30%, you can just gas it and keep going. If it gets over 30%, you have to file a plan of what you're going to do with the EPA to fix it. Either you're going to fix it or you're going to retrofit it within a year or whatever.
I've worked on one chiller with a guy, and I did not like it.
Well,
from what I remember,
so with these chillers, when you're low, say it holds 300 pounds, 400 pounds, and you're low, 40 or 50 pounds, here in 4 or 5 years, and you can't get R22 or really hard to get, you just want to evacuate all of it and put 407C or whatever in it.
Well, that's what. Yeah, I mean, if you're low, if it holds 300 pounds and you're low 50 pounds, you're gonna file a plan of action with the EPA, and you're probably going to retrofit that unit or mothball it.
See, what I remember from my hospital days is when the HVAC department had a leak that massive, they want it corrected because they're paying for that Freon to be dumped in there.
Yeah.
Well, I guess maybe my leak was too, say it's 10 pounds, it's off. Then, it's like, man, that's going to be a pain in the ass to evacuate the rest of the 300 pounds of Freon and putting all that 407C or I guess at that point you probably just get a new. I don't know how much those chillers are. They're probably pretty pricey.
Oh
well,
yeah.
what you pull out, you can use in another chiller.
As long as it's on the same complex, though, right?
Yeah, we had the hospital I was at had we had 6 chillers, huge. I mean, double tractor trailer wide and same length.
Hey, there's a guy in the chat that said some chillers you can't retrofit because the pressure transducers are dialed in for R22.
Huh.
Right. Then if you can't repair that system, it's got to be mothballed.
Okay.
What the hell is that?
You basically pull everything out of it and take it out. I mean, do away with it because it's done. And
yeah, I guess you guys.
Sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say, do you guys just call it like rapid recovery for those jobs to have them come out and pump all the refrigerant for you?
Ted, have you ever smelled mothballs? Oh shit!
It says on their website. It says mothballing means to evacuate refrigerant from an appliance or the affected isolated section or component of the appliance to least atmospheric pressure and temporarily shut down that appliance. However, the timelines pick up again as soon as the system is brought back online. So if you can't fix it within the year that they give you to fix it, you've got to pull it down and wait till you can fix it. But you can't use it. But see, this is good. This is good talking right here. I mean, these guys are learning something. We're learning something too.
Yeah, I'm learning something.
Yeah, learn something new about Hernandez.
Who is Hernandez? Hernandez. Okay, I see.
Yeah, that's not the real. There's a guy on through the YouTube he's been on here for a while. Justin Hernandez. And Hernandez is an idiot himself.
Where does he work? Where is he from? Hernandez, the real Hernandez.
Florida, I think, and he's crazy too.
So if you want to smell mothballs, you got to pick them up by the wings and sniff.
Yeah, yeah. What is it? Steve Lav says she's a leaker, baby girl. She's a leaker.
Yeah,
she's a leaker, mama.
Yeah, she's a leaker, mama.
He's very entertaining, that guy.
Yeah, he is. I don't know how he has any customers. It blows my mind. People call
customer service isn't the greatest, eh?
He had a video the other day, and this client was standing there asking him questions, and man, he was just being a straight up dick to that guy.
Oh yeah.
Oh, he talks to him. He's like, listen here, guy.
Yep.
Yeah.
I had a customer talk to me that way. It pissed me off. He was like, "Hey, guy, what are you doing here, guy?" He'd always say "guy." I'm like, dude, I want to hit you in the face. You say that again.
We need him in here for one night.
Hey, John, have you talked to Lav? Has he been on your?
Oh no. He doesn't like me anymore because him and Ralph are tight.
Oh.
Yeah, I remember you telling us.
Yeah.
John, I've been watching Ralph. Like I said, the last week I watch all these guys. Ralph, he is mad. He just has anger. I don't know. I like Ralph. I like his videos, but he's an angry guy.
And he has nothing. He has nothing else to do with it.
I have nothing bad to say, but I'm just saying, he seems to be very angry towards you.
He is, and he has nothing else to do. He's single, he goes to work and,
Yeah, I'll watch the other guys too, and all of a sudden you'll see Ralph type something in the chat about you. I'm like, damn, dude, it's like,
Oh yeah.
wasn't even nothing about you. He would just bring you up.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. And honestly, when's the last time y'all have heard me say anything?
Yeah.
You don't even bring up his name. You don't bring his name. Yeah.
No.
Maybe it's a secret crush. Who knows?
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, fuck them if they can't take a joke.
Yeah.
No, it's like I said, you know, it is what it is.
Yeah, I used to like Ralph's videos. He doesn't do them anymore, but I did like them when he did them.
Because he works for a supply house now.
Yeah. Yep. Gee, I think he might have been one of the first guys I started watching, and then you, and then Steve, and
right.
What was the other guy that retired from YouTube?
Jim Petnato.
Yeah, man, I tell you what, I really idolize that guy. That guy's extremely intelligent.
Oh yeah.
Who is it? Who I've heard you guys talk about him before. I don't think I've ever seen his video. Who is it? Jim what?
Jim Petnato. He's a refrigeration mechanic, and I mean, he was damn good.
He's got videos still out there, but they're all old.
Telling you guys.
Yeah, and he doesn't respond to any of his videos either.
No, not anymore. No, he's completely done with it.
Have you guys ever watched, like, this is back, like, I don't know, 10 years ago. This guy, I don't know. I just had a good time watching him, but his name was Dr. Z.
Yeah.
Dr. Z cracked me up with his wife Becky and that.
Yep.
Yeah.
He was a funny kid.
Yeah, Robbie. I'm sure Robbie asked if I know him. I'm sure y'all have watched Stephen Raridan.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
What last time I heard, he went to like on a mission somewhere, and I haven't seen any videos from him.
Yeah,
yeah.
He went a few times.
Yeah, he went to Kenya for like his second or third time. He's home because I saw something he posted or something. I don't know, but he hasn't been uploading. I know he started his own company.
To my understanding, he's doing pretty good. He's not that far from me.
No, really? He's in Raleigh.
Yeah. He's a couple hours from me, but he's over there with the uppity up people making all that big money.
Yeah, Stephen Raridan. Me and him we got along at first, and then we didn't. He's just kind of weird. He's just a weird guy.
He seems a little different.
He is, and I don't know what's going on with him right now. Like he started his own company, and I just made a suggestion to him because he posted a video of hey, company owners, what can I do to be professional and blah blah blah. And I didn't mean it in a dickhead way. I just told him, I said, well, for one thing, you could cut your hair and trim your beard, and he kind of got pissed off, but I wasn't trying to be a dick, but he's got this fucking beard that he doesn't, he doesn't keep it neat. He just let it fucking, go out. He looks like a
scraggly, man.
Like speaking of his beard, I probably was trying to be a dick. I'm the guy that's like, hey, I drink a little bit, and I'm like watching these videos, and then I'm just like the asshole on the chat that like post stupid shit all the time,
Right.
But anyway, he was like doing, hey, can you guys help me out, GoFundMe or whatever for his Kenya trip or whatever, the mission trip.
Right.
And he's like, I said, hey, I'll send you $300 if you shave your beard. He got pissed at me.
Yeah, well, let me address Ted. Hold on, Ted. I'm not picking on your hair, man. Okay. But here's the thing, though. Your hair is, you keep it in a ponytail and all that. I've seen your videos and your giveaways. Raridan looks like a fucking hobo.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sorry. And Steven, if you're watching this, man, I'm not trying to be a dickhead. I'm not. But you shot that video and you asked for opinions on professionalism. Hey, if your customers don't mind it, more power to you.
Yeah.
But you kind of look like a Muslim with your beard because you don't comb it. It's just kind of sticking out. And your fucking hair is ridiculous. I mean, you kind of look like a fucking hobo. So,
I look like a homeless person too. Let's be honest. But
no, you do not look like a homeless person.
I gotta say, in his defense, Steve Raridan is also a badass. That dude also knows his shit.
He's good. He's really good.
I've got to say this, Adam.
I'm not denying that at all.
Adam, you kind of look like one of my old pot dealers.
Hey man, that's one thing. Hey, look at this. You know what this is? This is gin right here.
I was gonna say,
I don't dabble with anything but alcohol because I know where I'm starting and I know where I'm ending.
Yeah,
exactly.
But you know, I always kind of thought of Stephen there. He kind of looked like if like a Quaker had went into HVAC business for himself. That's what I kind of took him. He looked like he's Amish or something, you know.
Yeah.
All he needs is that big straw hat, and
no, I'm not saying he doesn't know what he's doing because he does.
he could probably go up Pennsylvania and fix all kinds of Amish people's HVAC units.
Yeah, but he just looks. I mean, he needs to clean it up. That's just my opinion.
Yeah, I was kind of surprised when he said he's going on that mission trip, especially just starting this business within last year.
Yeah.
That's a nice thing of him to do, though. I mean, those kids over there need stuff. And I think they were over there putting in a water line or something for a village. That video was really shitty that he posted while he was over there because he didn't have any internet connection. He was like on 14.4 dial-up or something, I think.
Okay, Ted, I just added you as a moderator, so you feel free. Get out.
Oh, Lord.
I feel like Ted's going to kick me out.
Yeah, me too. I was going to say, I'll see you guys later. I'm getting kicked out.
Don't talk about train anymore.
No, he can't throw y'all out the video. He only has control of the chat.
Hey, Adam, what is your, where do you post your videos? YouTube?
So, yeah, I got them on YouTube. John,
I took care of that already.
When did you take care of it?
A couple hours ago.
Because in the beginning of this video, I tried posting a comment on my account.
I know. No, try it again. I took care of it.
All right. So this is like a BS account that I have.
Right. No, try it again.
So are you Peter? Are you Peter?
I'm not Peter. I'm Adam. I mean, that's my fake. That's like my BS
no, yeah.
He's Peter Cottontail hopping down the bunny trail.
Yeah, look at my look. I posted here's a link. I posted again. It didn't go through.
Peter Cottontail. It went through.
Yeah.
I don't see it.
Isaiah. Hey, did he say bye while I was gone, or did he just fall out?
I think he just fell out.
Mine keeps cutting out. I've had to restart here about 4 times in the last 5 minutes.
Yeah, I noticed that. You must have some internet issues tonight, Mr. Ken.
I think Ted blocked me. What's going on here?
I couldn't see your link there, Adam.
I see his link.
I seen it.
I see it.
You've
done it a couple times.
Well, maybe I have Peter.
You've done it like 3 or 4 times, haven't you?
I just tried. It wasn't going through. Maybe it's my connection. I don't know.
All right, Robbie. Good night. Thanks for coming in. Why'd you put Peter Cottontail in timeout, Ted? Come on now.
YouTube police.
No, that's what Ralph had gained that reputation as YouTube sheriff or YouTube police.
Yeah, no kidding, right?
Way back then,
he was just trying it out.
Hey, Ted, you're the kind of guy I'd like to hang out with, you know?
Oh, I'd love to hang out with Ted. I'm going to have to make a trip to South Carolina. Well, actually,
he's in South Carolina?
Yeah, actually, Ted has offered me that he would take me to the train factory. Because of our argument that we used to have back in the day.
The train factory is surreal. Like when you go in,
now that we're cool, he hasn't brought it up in a while, but I'd still take him up on that offer.
But maybe that's not the air conditioner factory he's going to take you to.
Yeah, it is. Dollar, Texas.
Ted, what is the room called where they have all the condensers and heat pumps running in? What is it called? I can't remember.
Hold on. Ted, why don't you come pick me up, man? If you're going on the first, come pick me up. I'll go with you. You got to pass through Louisiana. Look, everybody's quiet like, holy shit.
Yeah, we're watching
where this goes.
Next week's video, John's going to be like, Ted stood me up.
So they at the train at Tyler, Texas, they have this room that is I
Oh,
can't remember.
he's not driving the plane. Well, that's a good point.
But Ted, if you look out the window and you see something that looks like a boot, tell the pilot, say, "Stop here. I got to pick him up."
Train puts you up in a hotel where they have train condensers and furnaces framed. I'm not joking. I'm not joking at the hotel. I'm not joking.
Train wash, man.
Yeah.
It was the hotel's probably over-engineered too.
I'd go in there and be like, hey, I don't sell Train. I sell American Standard. I want American Standard equipment in my room.
Guys, I about got my motorcycle ready for summer. Who else is excited to ride their bike?
I don't have one.
You should
I
get
don't have one.
I sold my Fat Boy when I had my first kid.
I got a big life insurance policy and a motorcycle. I'm just living it on the wild side.
With this new job you got, do you have to work on call any?
I will. Yeah, I'll have to be on call. Just like anytime with how this company works, anytime you bring a van home, your ass is on call. If they call you, you better come. Or so you ain't taking the van home next week.
And you work for your county's school system?
Yeah, actually I'm a state employee, but I work for the county school system.
I got you.
Ted just answered that question about that room. Train has a room where they put a bunch of condensers and heat pumps, and they have, I don't remember the temperature, but it's like -20, and they run these things at like -20 for a week straight or something like that. And they send a power surge every 8 hours through these things, and then they run it at like 100 degrees, and then they drop it back down again. They keep doing that with all, not just Train, all the competitors' equipment, and they see what will last, what will not, and that's how they.
John in the chat, I don't know, man. I've never dealt with a Ring 20 sear. I've
125.
Yeah, I've never seen one. So I've dealt with Train's 20 sear. I know there's a charging mode on the stat. You go to the communicating stat, put it in charging mode. That's how you do that one. I can't answer your question about the Ream inverter though. Sorry about that.
Ted, you should get a job for Train. That's all I gotta say. You know it all.
Hey, let me ask y'all something. And guys in the chat, if you're in business for yourself, Ted, I would love you to answer this question. Okay, Chance, you don't have employees, do you?
Nah, just in the summertime, I'll hire a couple guys.
All right, a service technician, Adam, all y'all. And if the other guys, do y'all know if you don't want to say your hourly rate, you don't have to. What are employers paying an experienced service tech like yourself or myself or Chant? What's the hourly rate that is normal?
So I like just like an entry level guy is like 15.
No, not entry level.
Like top guy?
Somebody like me that's got 16, 17 years experience.
I mean, that's like if you're like, if I don't have to like babysit you, you're $30 to $35 an hour.
Holy shit.
Yeah, I pay.
You have to in Chicago though. I mean, cost of living up there is just.
Chance, I know you don't have employees, but do you have any idea maybe what your
yeah, around here it's 25, $30 an hour is usually on average. There's higher, there's lower, but
I've got a part-time helper. I pay $15 an hour.
Yeah,
I'd say we're 25 to 35.
I'd pay more than $35 an hour if it's the right guy. You know what I mean? Like, you're a rock star. Here's the thing.
Yeah.
You make the company a lot of money, I'll make you a lot of money. That's what it is. I'm not a greedy guy. I'll pay you for what you're worth, you know?
Right. Yeah, the
first job I had, the guy told me you make your own salary.
Yeah. Yeah, that's crazy. That's about what it is here. 25 is about the going around here, but Baton Rouge is I've heard they're a little lower here than actually like in Lafayette.
John, you relocate, man. We could tag team it.
Hey, you know what? If I went and told my wife that what kind of money you'd be willing to pay, she probably would.
Tell
Until
me
you
her
saw how
number. I'll
expensive
text
it
her.
is.
Yeah. Yeah.
How much is it? How much is a 2 or 3 bedroom house in Chicago?
Like to rent, just say.
It really, like, where do you want to live? You know, like suburb, Chicago, what part of Chicago? It
Well,
really
I don't want to get shot.
Just put him down there by the Candy Man.
So, like, if you're to rent, like, 2 or 3 bedroom, you're probably, I mean, realistically, you're probably $1,500 a month to,
Oh,
depending on
shit.
where you're at, to 2,000 a month.
Good Lord.
Jesus Christ. You need $35, $40 an hour.
Yeah.
For a house, though, I mean, that's about what it is around here, too, though, if you're talking about a house in a subdivision, 3-bedroom, 2-bath house.
We're like 8, 9 would be tops for just a regular 3-bedroom house.
Really?
Now we got some, depending on you want to get up in the mucky mucks, they probably $1,200-$1,300 a month.
Like a 2-bedroom, 2-bath duplex around here is like $750 to $900 a month.
Oh, well, see, yeah, that's
a house though,
bad.
it jumps up, around the $1,500 range.
I mean,
I got a 3-bedroom split level house with a full basement, almost an acre of property, 2 driveways, carport. I mean, the whole 9 yards, $785 a month.
Yeah.
Is that your rent or your house note?
That's my rent.
Chicago's all over. You could find something for 1,000, and you'll find something 3-bedroom for like 4,000. So, like, where do you want to live? You know?
Right.
Plus got a big, huge ass storage building in the back, all concrete sidewalks and everything. I mean, it's a nice place. For $785, I couldn't go wrong.
Yeah, it sounds like you got a damn good deal.
Yeah, no shit.
We got apartments where I work. Their 3 bedrooms are going for $7.
Really?
You got nothing but apartments.
See, I couldn't live in an apartment. I'd get evicted within a week. I mean, I'm from West Virginia, guys. I mean, if I got to pee, I just walk out back and go pee.
That's what like where I live. I want to go shoot my gun. I just go out my backyard and shoot my gun, or front yard for that matter.
So,
yeah,
Mike,
go ahead.
I'm sorry, Mike Malone, an hour away, like Naperville, suburb of Chicago. It's a good neighborhood, no problems, not a lot of the crime or anything. 3-bedroom, you look like $1,800 to $2,000 a month. That's a good neighborhood,
Adam, you can't have any guns where you live, though.
No, everywhere you go, there's a sticker on the door, no guns allowed. It is like they let you carry, but you're not allowed to bring it in anywhere, really.
You can't buy a gun in Chicago, really. Handgun, anyways.
I'm in the suburbs. I hate
Is it
Chicago.
different?
I hate Chicago.
So Illinois is a little more relaxed on their gun laws than Chicago.
I mean, Illinois is like tough no matter what, but
I was gonna say, I thought they were
real
tough.
Chicago's crazy about gun laws,
And they only have the most murders in the whole country.
I had a rental house I bought. I thought it was a great idea, and it was in the hood. And I was working on the house, and I was talking to one of the neighbors there when we were working on it, and like a half a block away, I saw these dudes like shooting at each other, like in the street, pointing guns and shooting at each other. And the guy I was talking to, he's like, "Look at these guys! They're crazy! They're shooting at each other right now." I'm like, "Can we stop talking so I can run inside the house right now?"
How long do you own that house?
It was like 5 years, and I got rid of it. I can't. I'm done. I honestly hate Chicago. I
Stuck it
can't.
out 5 years?
Yeah.
Yeah, you talk to anybody that's from Illinois, they hate Chicago. It ruins it for everybody.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Won't you move down south like Indiana? I mean, you know, I've met more Southern people in Indiana than I have in the South. They think that they're like from Florida or something if they live in Indiana.
The thing is, like Indiana, if you're going from Chicago across the border to Indiana, it's like a culture shock right there.
It is. It really is.
It's crazy the difference. Like the people, the attitude of the people, and everything changes right across the border. You're like, holy shit, what happened? You know?
Damn. I just see a thing on Facebook. My phone went off and a woman just delivered a 24.5 pound baby. Natural.
Damn.
Natural.
I thought my boy was big.
What my ex-wife was it? But as far as carrying, you know, if I ain't welcome to carrying a business, then I ain't even going in that business.
Yeah. See, we don't have to have anybody can carry Missouri. You don't have to have a concealed permit or anything. You just carry. It don't matter.
That's how it is in West Virginia too. I mean, but it's not like that in North Carolina yet. But I see it coming. So
My wife is against guns.
That's not good.
I know. I'm actually a lifetime. I'm not. I'm more than a lifetime member. I don't remember what I am in the NRA, but she let me stop creeping up in the list of the NRA. I don't remember what my level is, but anyway.
I mean, I'm cautious about my guns. I've got guns all over the house, but I'm really cautious about them. And you know, my kid can't get a hold of them. And but I like the feeling of if someone comes through that door, no matter what room I go to, I can take care of the situation.
Yep.
Because you just never know. I mean, you know, it ain't like it was back in the '80s. And in the '90s, actually, I mean, things have changed. These motherfuckers come knock down your door because there's a prescription bottle in your medicine cabinet, or they seen your wife carrying something that they wanted, and they'll come and kick down your damn door and try to take it. You got kids killing each other. Got kids killing each other over tennis shoes. You know, I mean,
yeah.
I remember when I was growing up, man, we never locked our doors. Never. Now, forget it.
Yeah, when I lived in town, we always locked our doors, but here, I never lock my doors. We leave our shit open all the time.
Where I'm from, when I was a kid, we slept with our front door open. I mean, it was so hot in the house that they'd leave the front door open.
Yeah.
To try to cool the house down. I mean, you know, we didn't have air conditioning. Hell, we didn't even have running water. And I had to walk uphill to school both ways.
We watch these shows like SVU and that, me and my wife, and like they show like people raping kids or girls or whatever, and I tell my wife, if that ever happened to my daughter, you better be okay with me going to jail.
Yeah, that's what I told my wife, because we watch SVU, we love it, and you know, I told her, I said, if somebody ever rapes our daughter, you need to be prepared for me to spend the rest of my life in prison.
Yeah,
yeah, they won't be no court date.
No, there ain't gonna because I'll kill that motherfucker. I mean, I told her I will go to prison over that shit.
100% agreed.
Yep.
There's nothing like a dad and his daughter, you know?
Oh no, man, my little girl. Look, don't get me wrong. I love both my kids. I don't favor one over the other. But my little girl is, you know, she's got me wrapped around her little finger.
Yep.
And
I got two of them.
Yeah.
That's special victims unit there, Ted.
Yeah. And if, you know, if somebody did that to her, I'd be very happy to spend the rest of my life in prison.
Yeah, I don't like watching shows like that anymore since I had kids.
Yeah.
It used to bother me. Now that I have kids, when I see shit like that, I'm like, ugh. Like
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
You know, John, your next big purchase for your podcast here needs to be a soundboard. You need to get you a soundboard.
Why is that?
throwing little.
Like at the right moment, you can hit this weird noise and just, I mean, throw everybody off.
You can have a drum roll.
Yeah.
Yeah, drum roll. You can bleep us out if you hear us cussing. We go on a cussing spree or something.
Yeah.
Hey Ted, can I just like fly in and hang out with you? Do you want to just like hang out for a day or two? This dude's a badass.
Shit, in California, that's perfectly normal to see a guy go in a woman's bathroom.
I agree with Ted. If I see a man going to follow my wife or my daughter into a women's bathroom, he'd be in a bind when I got through with him.
Yeah.
It's fight or flight, and honestly, like I would have no thought about my own body. It would be like, hey, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Your wife or daughter, that's it.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good one, Ted. I saw a meme. It said, if you're supposed to use this bathroom, but you follow my wife or daughter into this bathroom and it shows the female logo, it says you're going to need this bathroom. And it shows the handicap one.
Nice.
Damn, I forgot to ask Isaiah about getting me one of those chairs that get me on that sponsorship. I need a fucking chair. This thing is squeaky. It's like a bed at a $20 hotel, you know? Well, we got this one feller on here. This one feller that Peter Rabbit. He's supposed to sponsor me a set of gauges here pretty soon.
I told you Monday morning, man.
Dalton, I'm in Louisiana. Oh man.
You getting tired, John? Keep yawning there.
I am. I don't know what the deal is.
So, did you use your cable extenders on those yellow jackets yet, John?
No, they're in my bag, but I haven't used them yet. That was I couldn't believe that shit. That guy posted, mine came with extenders, and then I look in a fucking box. And
that was pretty good. That was funny.
Hey, are any of you guys one supply house is asking me if I want to order these condenser pads. They're from Rector Seal. It's like foam filled, flat on the bottom, 2 inches tall, and like there's no gap on the bottom. It's completely flat. And then it's plastic on top. No,
I've never seen those. I'd like.
Yeah,
to.
they're what are they called? They're not the I think I know what you're talking about. Oh, never mind. I'm thinking about
they're
the ones that are concrete.
brand new.
I'm thinking of the ones that are concrete with foam in the middle.
Yeah, email me a link or something. I'd like to see them.
I'll get it. They're like pushing me on trying to buy some, and they're trying to bring them into the supply house. And like, do you want to buy some of these? They showed me a sample. They're nice though, because like usually we have the plastic pads that has like gaps in the thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like up and down, whatever. It's a nice pad. I'll send it to you.
Yeah, do that. Dalton, no, I don't. I'm in the Baton Rouge area, about an hour away from Slidell. But no, I usually don't work in that area.
Mr. Ice asked how the micron gauge was on that P51.
I haven't used it yet. I usually don't. I didn't even see where he asked that. Oh, I see it now. Okay. I don't pull a vacuum through a manifold. So I'm gonna have to remember to try to use it because I used the Appion hoses with a micron gauge.
So the True Blue, I'm like so close to pulling the trigger on the True Blue, but the length of their hoses are ridiculously small. But like,
Man, here's the thing about that. I'm not gonna purchase them because they just keep coming out with new shit, and it's too much. I mean, I've already got Appions and
the thing I
everything.
don't like, I have the Appions, but their core tools suck. I'm sorry, they suck. They're
No, dude,
Shredder
Appion's
remover.
got the best core tool on the market.
That's
no.
what I got.
Their Schrader is recessed too far down. And like what I found, unless I have like a weird abnormal situation, I called their tech support and they actually told me this themselves. They have they have problems depressing the core tool like where you're supposed to be pulling with your micron gauge.
That might be true but my core is out for my micron gauge.
Your what?
The core, I took it out so my micron gauge can read. I don't have one on that.
So you just leave it out all the time.
And I cap it. I put a cap on it. But as far as using the tool, like to change a Schrader with with the system under pressure,
yeah.
I haven't found anything better than Appion.
I mean, I do enjoy Appion. It seems quality, but like with the core in, it's no good. I'm sorry, it's no good.
I've never that's never been an issue for me, but I love Appion. The True Blue hoses, I mean, I'm sure they're badass, but because though I'll buy those and then they'll come out with something else, so right. it's too much.
The True Blue, like what are they called? The Pro vacuum gauge or whatever. That's a badass version. I have that.
Yeah, I have it too. Randy, speaking of micron gauges, the Blue Vac, anything made by Blue Vac is, in my opinion, is the way to go. What's up, Mike?
Do you have the Pro, the Blue Vac Pro?
I don't have the.
I do have the Pro. It's awesome.
Well, yeah. all of Blue Vac gauges now, whether I have the mini and then the big one, but it's not the Pro. But it doesn't matter if you buy the mini or whatever you buy; they're all Bluetooth now.
But it's I have the Pro, and it shows you like. I don't know what do the other ones show you on Bluetooth? Like what do they display?
Well, if you have the Bluetooth, you can do a decay test and all that shit.
So I'm questioning what's the difference between what you have and what I have. Like what
I don't know.
Is it worth it? Probably not.
Probably not. But but now. It doesn't matter what Blue Vac gauge you buy. They're all Bluetooth. Go ahead, Mr. Ken.
The one you have that's not Bluetooth, all you have is what you see on the gauge itself, correct?
Right.
Where the Pro, you can go in there and hook it to Measure Quick, and you can actually watch a graph of your decay.
Yeah.
And you can watch it pull, and then it'll bounce back up, and then it'll come back down. And then you can prove that you let it set 15 minutes or 10 minutes and put that in with your Measure Quick report, and it's proof that you did pull a vacuum, and this is what it was.
Is that only on the Pro?
Do what?
Is that only on the Pro? Because I have the Pro. I know I could do that. John, can you do that?
What?
Can you do what Ken was saying?
Yes, as long as it's Bluetooth, yeah.
So what's the importance of buying the Pro versus the Mini?
Because I think you can only get everything they make now is Bluetooth, but back when the Pro came out, that stuff wasn't Bluetooth. That's kind of like one of the things John is talking about. They're always coming out with something else. So I bought the Blue Vac, and then the next thing I know, they come out with the Blue Vac Pro that I can see on the graph and record it. And now John's saying everything is Bluetooth. So it's just an affirmation of what he's saying. They keep coming out with new stuff.
I mean, I'm so confused because, you know, that's why I'm not buying some of this shit. You know, though, I mean, really, do you really think that the True Blue hoses are that much faster than the Appian?
Here's the thing. This is what my memory, don't quote me on this, but my memory is the Appian is half-inch hoses.
Yes.
And it is permeable. You could look it up, and there's like
little
holes in the Appian.
Correct.
The True Blue is non-permeable, and it's 3/4-inch hoses.
Right.
So it's supposedly better, but the True Blue is only 1 meter long. What comes in the kit?
Right.
They sell 2 meters or 2.5 meters, but not in the kit. You got to buy it separately.
Right.
So 3 feet. What are you going to do? How are you going to hook 2 hoses to a vacuum gauge?
Well, then you got another leak. I think if you call True Tech Tools, they can make your kit the way you want it.
Well, and the price of those son of a bitches,
I know,
is just
man,
outrageous.
Outrageous.
I mean,
and they have that in the kit with because they want you to buy the. I mean, I'm sorry for mentioning names, but it's tied to Jim Bergman because he has all these products. But it's like Fieldpiece. They want you to buy the Fieldpiece vacuum pump with the 2 ports.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. But and keep in mind the True Blue hoses and the Blue Vac is the same company. That company is called AccuTools.
Right.
And I'm sorry, but their prices are ridiculous. I mean, my vacuums pull fantastic with the Appians. I mean, I'm sorry, but those blue hoses cannot be that much faster.
I'm gonna try running the Appians without a Schrader.
Yeah, I mean, dude, I've got to where I pull a vacuum with one hose, one Appian hose on the suction with no Schrader core, and I screw my micron. Excuse me, I screw my micron gauge to the liquid valve, and I mean it pulls it down in I don't know 5, 10, 15 minutes.
I'll tell you with Appian, the problem I had with one of my Schrader tools, the core tools, was they admit they have this problem. Their Schrader is set too far down,
right?
The core tool, and it doesn't. The Schrader depressor tool doesn't depress it all the way. Okay, so they say maybe back out the Schrader, or you know they end up sending me a what is it called? The little extension thing.
Right.
I don't know, for the micron gauge or whatever. But that's I don't know. It's like a known problem they have with Appian. So maybe I should try running without the core.
That's what I've always done. I run mine without the core for the micron gauge. I haven't had an issue.
On the Blue Vac Pro, if you go into Measure Quick and go down to the toolbox and turn it on, it'll find it. Measure Quick will find it, and you would really be surprised when you look at that graph how long it takes and where it's at.
Yeah,
you can see where the non-condensables are. I mean, it goes through each phase, and you can see what's taken so long if you're having a problem, what it is. And you can go in and put another charge of nitrogen in it, 2 or 3 pounds, and then pull that out, and you watch the difference. It's really cool.
Dalton, they're half inch. But that's the thing. Now these blue hoses are 3/4. Well, watch in the next year or two. AccuTools is going to say, "Oh, now we got the true blue 1 inch.
Yeah.
Throw them 3/4 some bitches away. They're no good."
But if you're gonna purge, if you're gonna do like a triple evac with nitrogen, you cannot. You need to add nitrogen, and you can't bring it down to 0. You know what I mean? You don't let oxygen back in the lines. You got to start evacuating again before you're at 0.
Right.
Correct.
You're talking about when you're letting the nitrogen out?
If you're doing if you're
evac.
doing an evacuation and you need to you're not pulling down, you wanna break the vacuum with nitrogen.
Right.
You know what I mean? You can't bring it down to 0.
Yeah, you're talking about when you're letting the nitrogen out, you want to leave maybe like a couple PSI in there.
Right, before you start the vacuum again.
And let the vacuum pull that out. Yeah.
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
Because that blue vac, they were real emphatic when I first started using mine and reading the instructions with it and everything, that definitely don't put it under pressure.
Yeah. No, I mean, as long as you just got a couple PSI in there, it's not going to hurt anything.
Right.
Guys, I've got a 1/2 inch Appion hose, and I pull my vacuum through my test hose because I got my micron gauge on my test hose, which I have a regular micron gauge too. And I use my JB Platinum vacuum pump, and it seems to work just fine.
Where do you put your
Micron gauge?
Yeah.
On my vacuum pump.
Yeah, that's a good, just like Mike said in the chat, they try to brainwash you with all this shit. But how in the fuck did we pull vacuums in the 90s?
No one did.
There was no micron gauges.
No, they did. Through their analog manifolds, sucking it down to -30. Oh, that sumbitch is tight. Let it go.
Yeah.
And let me tell you something. And fucking units are still out there running that way.
Yeah.
That's how those guys do it in the refrigeration department. I'm the only one that has a micron gauge.
Here's the question. Is it real science? All right, Jim Bergman, I've talked to him personally. He's a badass. I love that guy. You know what I mean? He knows his shit.
Oh yeah, I've talked to Jim several times on the phone.
But do you really is it serious? Do you really need to pull the vacuum to what it is, or is it that we've been doing it for how long? There was no micron gauges, there was no vacuum hoses.
Mm-hmm. That's what I'm saying. They keep brainwashing you, and that's what I try to tell some of these new guys getting in the trade. I've had guys email me and say, "Hey, do I really need this to be a good technician?" And they see it from somebody else's video, but. Yeah, I mean, when I first started, we was pulling through a fucking analog manifold down to -30. And we still got units out there that are running.
Yeah, in this refrigeration department I work for, they don't use a micron gauge or anything. They just use their analog gauges and pull it down to 29.5, and they call it good.
Yeah.
As soon as it gets to 29.5, they're ready to charge that bitch. They don't do a leak down test or anything. I mean,
well, here's what to do. When they pull it down and say they're done, tell them to put everything back together, take their shit off it, put your micron gauge on there, and see where you are.
Yeah, I done showed them. They don't care. I done showed them. They don't care.
That's not the technician's problem. That's the boss's problem.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. When I ask for a micron gauge, they're like, "What do you need that for?"
That's just job security. They're looking at job security. Just don't break down.
Yeah.
Keep working on it.
10 years ago, micron gauges were junk.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I remember when they were making a big deal with the 410A. I had that subcoat. I don't know what subco. I don't even know.
Is that the one that had the thermal on the end of it? You screwed on the
The Subco one, I think it was the one with all the the little lights that went up. Was
Yeah,
it
The
yeah.
Christmas
John?
tree one?
No, that's not the one I had. That you're thinking of the mega ohm meter.
No, there was a micron gauge
It's
that
the
had
blue
a
one.
bunch of
It's
little lights that went
the
up.
blue one.
That
I think it's
was
the blue one.
Yellow Jackets that had the Christmas tree lights.
Yeah,
Maybe it was Yellow Jacket.
I
Yeah,
have one of those.
that thing sucked.
Yeah.
So let me ask y'all guys
Not
this,
literally.
Yeah.
Right.
okay?
Here
Okay.
it is. It's the Subco VG64. That's the first micron gauge I ever had. Here, I can share my screen and show y'all. Can y'all see it?
Yeah, I have one of those too.
Yeah, that's the first one I had when they were the 410A shit, you know.
That's still better than some of the old ones.
Yeah.
That's a nicer one. The first one I had was like lights that went up. It literally like it was like red, yellow, yellow,
Yeah,
green.
that's Yellow Jacket one. I'm almost positive one you're talking about. At least they made one like that.
I thought CPS makes one as well like that.
They could, yeah.
I mean, that was like at least 10 years ago. It might have been even over 10 years ago. I don't know.
I went on a walk-in freezer call the other day. That evidently they've been fighting this thing for about a year, and it keeps freezing up. I mean, it'll freeze up the drain line, you know. So I went there. It's the first time I'd ever been there, and I walk up and I look at the the thermometer, and it says it's 15 below zero inside of this walk-in freezer. And I'm thinking, man, that's a little harsh, you know. So I go in there and the evaporators froze up, and we unthaw them with a pump sprayer. Got 140-degree water, take a pump sprayer and melt that bitch down. It was freezing it. As soon as I'd spray it, it was freezing the water. I wasn't getting anywhere. I wasn't getting in the ground. So I opened the door on that bitch, turn the unit off, and go in there and melt it all down. So I looked at their heat tape. They had heat tape on their drain line. Now, how many of you guys ever put on heat tape?
I don't do refrigeration.
Well, I mean,
I used heat tape before on condensate for boilers.
Okay. So do you wrap it around your line, or do you run it in a straight line?
No, wrap it around.
You're doing it wrong.
Oh, okay.
It says on the packaging, you don't wrap it, you run it in a straight line.
There is different kinds though, right?
Right,
Yes.
there is, yes.
Yeah.
But you run it in a straight line. I mean, and that's how it works the best. But anyways, they had it wrapped around, they had it insulated and all this stuff. But still at 15 below zero, it was still freezing the line.
Wow.
So I backed that unit down to 5 below, and defrosted it, rewrapped the suction line coming into the evaporator, because it had done iced up and just exploded. And that unit is working perfect. I mean, and they've been fighting it for over a year, but it was just too damn cold. And my boss told me, he said, well, you know, he says 15 below, everything's freezing very well. I said, yeah. I said, there's a difference between cold and too fucking cold. I mean, you know, it wasn't giving it a chance. It was going into a defrost mode, and it was defrosting for 30 minutes. So when those heaters would come on, it was creating steam inside. So it was icing up everything. And that steam, it would go up and it would just freeze. The ceiling had ice on it. I mean, but it's plain to see these guys don't know what in the hell they're doing. And I'm not a refrigeration tech. I don't know much about refrigeration at all, but I knew that wasn't right.
Look, you know, getting back on the vacuum thing, I want to share my screen again, you know, talking about this blue vac shit. I mean, look at this shit. I mean, yeah, okay, right here, you know, okay, let's start up here. I mean, look at the price of this kit.
It went away on my screen, John.
Yeah, it's crazy.
I mean, look at these prices. I mean, they're fucking high. I mean, no, and I mean, not the prices are high. Blue Vac and all them are high. Okay. Yeah, and people say, well, just buy the starter kit. Buy 2 starter kits. It's cheaper. But look at that. That's still over $300. for a fucking vacuum kit. I mean, it's ridiculous. Yeah, and look, here's an Appion setup with a pump. You know, it's
When I started, it was just a regular small gauge with two, regular manifold, and that was it. That's what we pulled through.
You see that Appion Mega Flow hose there? That's the one that I have.
Yeah, that's what I have too.
Yeah.
I have two of them. I have 2 half-inch hoses with a 3/8 fitting on one side and quarter on the other.
Yeah.
And
So,
they
John,
do fantastic.
have you ever pulled through with the Schrader with the
Absolutely.
and you haven't had a problem?
Oh, I don't do it anymore. I mean, I've done it. No, it's not my go-to. I usually always pull the core out.
I'm not saying the core on the unit. I'm saying the core on the where you're pulling the micron gauge.
You mean when
I take that core out.
Yeah, I have the core out and I screw my micron gauge.
Which one though? I
put a T, and you unscrew the core puller. I put my field piece, and then on the other side of the T, I put my micron gauge with that little L connector part there.
But where you put your micron gauge, you pull the Schrader out where your micron gauge is at. Yeah,
it's gone.
I gotta start doing that.
Yeah,
you guys just taught me something.
Just put you some nylog on there and tighten her up.
And
you just taught me something.
I pull that off, and I got a little.
Because their Schrader depressor, even the Appion one, is garbage. I'm sorry, it does not depress the Schrader.
Well, your micron gauge doesn't have anything to depress it, anyways.
No, not the micron gauge. Appion makes like a little it's like a little L, or not even an L. You know what I mean? It's like a little leg.
Right.
I don't think Appion makes that.
They do make that. They sent me that. I had like an aftermarket one, and Appian said, "We'll send you ours," and theirs wasn't even working.
Yeah,
and like black with a silver handle.
It's like brass.
It's called a vacuum gauge adapter.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Yeah.
Appian does make one. It's super nice. Appion's is very nice, but the problem is it doesn't depress the Schrader very well.
I've never had theirs, but I will say that as far if you got to change out a leaking core while the system has refrigerant, Appion's the best for that. And believe me, I've tried Appion, Yellow Jacket, CPS, Hillmore. Nothing pulls a Schrader under pressure to replace it better than the Appion. All the other ones, it don't grab it, it'll unscrew it, but when you go to
that was the problem I was having.
Oh man, it's ridiculous.
To go back to the vacuuming thing, we're all saying what we used to do. When I first started,
hold on, Mr. Ken, hold that thought. No, Mike, I don't. I don't take my micron gauge or my or put the Schrader back in until I open up my valve and let a little bit of the refrigerant into the system. I don't let it all out, but I'll crack it and let some of the refrigerant out. That way I'm not doing what you're saying. Anyway, go ahead, Mr. Ken.
We all pulled vacuum the same way in the old days.
Oh, yeah.
And what I found is when I'd hook up and I'd pull them back in, I'd say, all right, down to 30, it's good. Well, once I started using this BlueVac Pro with the app, with the Measure Quick app, it takes me a lot longer to pull out a vacuum a lot of the times.
Yeah.
Because I'm watching where it's at. I say, well, it's been on there 30 minutes. Well, hell, it's still it's not pulled down yet. It's not the 500 microns.
Mr. Ken, were you using a micron gauge before that?
No. No, no. I just hook up my. I just pull through my gauges and be done with it after a period of time.
One of the guys, like my dad had a company, and he had me riding with guys that worked for him. And they had a joke. They thought that, I didn't know what it was, but like when I was a kid, they told me they're like, hey, as far as vacuum goes, 15 minutes mandatory, 25 minutes if I like you, and 30 minutes if you're lucky. That was
Well,
that's
that's the same. That's basically what I was just saying. I'd wait a period of time, and that time period I was waiting was nowhere near where I needed to be.
right.
But it didn't affect the machine, I don't think, that much.
I got
Because I
one guy
didn't.
that told me a couple months ago. So I don't use a micron gauge. I can tell by the sound of the vacuum when it's done.
I've heard that. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, how
You
I
guys,
figured it out, I figured, all right, I think it's pulled down. So I take my stuff off and then put the micron gauge on there, and sure enough, it was nowhere near down, even though it was 30 minutes or 20 minutes.
you
And then you start looking for problems. Is it because I got a leak somewheres, or is my connections right?
Mr. Ken,
Yes.
do you ever try when you're having a hard time, do you ever try breaking the vacuum with nitrogen and then starting it over again?
Yes.
That helps sometimes, doesn't it?
A lot. Yeah, it helps a lot. But I got equipment that's 30, 40 years old that probably 50 mechanics over the course of them 40 years been doing shit to them, and now I'm stuck with it. But it's job security.
Mr. Ken, what you need to do is develop your own little system that nobody else does. So when you retire, the new guy that comes in there, he's going to be like, man, I got to deal with this shit. This guy did shit that I don't even understand. Do like they did you.
That's another thing. You just cannot find somebody that wants. I've been trying to hire somebody for 5 years, and they come and they say, "Well, I'm not going to do all that." I say, "Well, then just get in your truck and go home. If you're not going to do it this way, get in your truck and go home." They don't want to work. Nobody wants to work.
Now, do
Right.
you only have to do HVAC work, Mr. Ken, or do you have other stuff you have to do?
I have other stuff to do too.
Okay.
I do all the electrical and any of the plumbing that the kid that does the plumbing don't know how to do.
Right.
And it's not the workload; it's a problem. It's just nobody wants to work. At least that's what I find. I had a guy apply for a job a month ago. He got out the truck and fell down. He was drunk.
God damn.
Good guy to hire.
I said, you might as well just get back in your truck and go where you come from. The next guy after him, he went down to the drug test and he took his girlfriend's piss with him and he failed. It's just, so I just keep going.
I think the problem is, like, honestly, I think Americans are getting very soft. I'm sorry.
Yeah, well,
Everyone's
they're getting everything given to them.
I think the world's getting soft.
Everybody's so damn sensitive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You say something, it offends them. They get,
Oh, man, I hear that all the time. Oh, you huffed or you puffed or you looked at me hard. What the hell, away from me and go home.
My wife gets mad at me because I'm hard on my kids, but it's like, like everyone's getting soft. Nobody wants to work. Everyone's entitled. Everyone thinks they should deserve $100,000 a year. It's like, do your job, be good at it, and make a lot of money,
Like this morning, I made these. I do a lot of model paints and airplanes and stuff, and I got these little paints, and I got the idea to take 1.5 inch PVC and cut it and glue them together so I can stick all my paints in it and get them picked up so I can see the colors. So I go outside. I call up my granddaughter. She's 10 years old. I said, "What are you doing?" She said, "I'm watching videos." I said, "You want to work?" She said, "Yeah." She jumped on her bike and rode over here 2 blocks, and she worked with me all day, gluing them and cutting them and messing with them and sorting out all the paints by colors. But kids don't do that shit no more.
Hey, check this out. Let me share my screen. Look what Nordyne came out with. I think this is a bad idea. Look at that.
Nice.
A 14 SEER 95% package unit.
What's that freaking kickstand at the bottom of the exhaust right there?
This, I don't know what's going on with that. I don't work on 90s, so I just thought I'd share that with y'all. See what y'all thought about that.
We don't do any package units here.
That's the vent pipe to let the smoke out when it goes bad.
Yeah, but what's the kickstand for?
Yeah, that I know, but he's asking what's the kickstand for down at the bottom.
That's in case the drunk installer falls on the unit and won't break it off. I bet that guy that Mr. Ken was going to hire designed that.
Probably.
Somebody, a guy that works for me part time, took a class, and he told me that Carrier has a new like turbine blower motor or something for their package units.
Huh.
I have not seen it. I don't know what it's about, but it's what I heard.
Where's Mr. Ted?
He gone. He doesn't say goodbye. He just leaves.
Yeah.
No.
He still didn't kick Hernandez out.
Yeah, he put him in timeout.
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
Did he kick Josh out? I haven't heard him for a while.
I don't think so.
Guy.
Oh, Lord, you said his name. He'll be in here in a second.
Hey,
John,
why don't invite Josh onto the chat? Send him a link.
Hey, if he gives me his email, he's more than welcome.
Yeah.
I haven't seen him do anything in a while.
Might have got butt hurt from earlier.
Yeah, he hasn't posted anything in a while.
I got a feeling that if you had that Josh guy as your helper working with you, and you rolled up on a job and you was pressed for time and you did beer can cold, he'd probably cry and go and tell and write the president a letter.
You guys ever watch Gray the Furnace Man?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
He does a video on beer can cold, and he shows how he videotaped himself trying to do beer can cold charge. And he was pretty close on it, like actually doing it, you know?
You know, man, I've seen other videos of people doing it. Like this one guy did it, then he took, on a piston system, and then he went inside and took his wet bulb and his dry bulb, and then came back out and checked his superheat. He was within the 5 on his charge. So, I'm not condoning that, and I'm not recommending it. I'm just saying he was pretty damn close.
There are other ways.
Yeah. Yep. So, there's so much out there that people are going to know you're doing it wrong, or, just it's not even worth it to stress over it.
Well, you guys that worked with your dad, did he do all this way back when you were starting and 4 or 5 years old running around with him? He didn't do all this.
Oh, no. I mean, he didn't do the digital gauges and all that. No, absolutely not.
My dad did, if you look at the saturated temperature on the high side, he did 22 degrees over ambient temperature. And that's what his rule of thumb was. And honestly, I've looked at that. He's pretty damn close on superheat.
Pretty damn close.
Yeah. Yep. So, these old school guys, I mean, they did something right.
And the old equipment is not as finicky as the new shit either, you know.
That's
Right.
true.
That's true. But,
I work on some of these old Yorks. I mean, old, like the Tombstone ones. You know what I'm talking about, John? The ones with the
I know exactly which one you're
dude.
talking
Those
about.
things do not die.
Nope.
I have a complex that has probably, I don't know, 75 of them or something.
Yep.
And
they don't die.
I can't tell you how many times I get there and running dry, and they've probably been running that way for a week. They don't care.
Yeah.
They just keep running.
Yep, they keep running. Doesn't hurt them at all. I'm gonna kill the live feed on YouTube, guys. I don't have to log off yet, but because the chat's starting to slow down and stuff. All right, guys.
Good night, YouTube.
Yep,
Good night, YouTube.
It's after midnight, so I'm gonna shut the live feed down. And thank you all again for tuning in, and we'll see you guys next week.